Greetings, loyal viewers. Now, this one's going to be a bit quicker. This is basically me talking about my opinions on the trailer for Sponge on the Run. So, before I get to the parts that do concern me a little bit about this movie, at least in terms of its quality, I should go ahead and address some of the things I do like. The animation, I should say, is really, really good. Like, not only is it very colorful and stylized to a degree, but it moves in a way that really does try and simulate the movements of the 2D feel of the show. Like, if you were to look at this side by side to say, at the very least, how the characters look and move in the more recent seasons, like, say, Season 11 or something, it looks pretty identical, just done in the third dimension. So, I do give credit for this movie for going that route, and it does look really good because of that. And I'll even be honest, there were a couple of gags that did get a bit of a laugh out of me. And like I said, everything on it from a technical perspective, I should say, looks fine. So, what are my issues with this trailer, at the very least? Well, and I could be wrong on this, don't get me wrong, and I don't know if I'm the only one who notices this, but it seems like a big part of this movie's existence just seems to be setting up the spin-off that has universally pissed off the entire fandom, and frankly, it's very easy to see why. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll notice in the trailer they show a bit of footage showing SpongeBob when he's a kid at a summer camp called Camp Coral. And if you don't know why this is a problem, is because, well, Steven Hillenburg, the creator of the show, was strongly against spin-offs of SpongeBob. So much so that back in the early days when the show was still in its production stage and Nickelodeon was considering doing it, he was so against it and so angered to some degree with them even thinking about it that and I could be wrong on this, but this is mainly what I just heard, but he even threatened to drop the project if Nickelodeon were to go through with this. That's how seriously against them he was. He was even against some of the ideas Nickelodeon initially had for SpongeBob from the start. Like, Camp Coral essentially is a accompaniment of a lot of the other things that he was against, like having SpongeBob be a kid, having him be in school. Basically, he wanted SpongeBob to be a child at heart, an adult with the heart of a child, but still going through some. And he did this because it would allow both kids and adults to definitely be able to follow along with him through all the crazy hijinks a lot better. And by having him be a kid, you take a lot of that away. Not only that, but you take a lot of some of the comedic possibilities that the show took advantage of with the fact that he was technically an adult. Either way, I hope you can understand why this concerns me a little bit for this movie. Not really so much just the fact that it might just be a desperate ploy to set up that show, but more or less because it also, I should also point this out, the basic premise, from what I can tell, seems like a bit of a rehash of the premise from Gary Come Home, one of the few post-movie specials that everyone universally loves. And I guess if you're gonna steal from anything, you should at least steal from ones that worked. But I don't know. Why would you want to make a movie based on a premise that worked fine in a half-hour special, but how would you want to, or why would you even want to take that and stretch it out to an hour and a half long movie? How can you even do that? I don't know. Just, there are little things like that that do have me concerned that this movie, unlike the last two, which even then, the second one, I should say, I personally thought was fine, but I personally did not think it held much of a candle to the first movie. But that's just my opinion. I know there are some people that definitely like the second movie better, and I can see why. This one, though, I don't know, guys. I'm just not very sure about this one. I could be wrong. It could be, at the very least, it could be decent. It might even be tolerable. Hell, it could even be great. I don't know. But judging by this first trailer, despite a few gags and how well the animation is looking, I'm just not so sure about this one. So that's all I have to say about that. So with that said, I'm King Gargantuous, and take care.